This episode, I'm in Atlanta, Georgia to get to know Paul with Jamison Management.
How's it working out? I mean, are you still trying to work it out?
Listen, it ain't started. It ain't started.
So how long have you been in business? Like, tell us the story about how you even got into lawn care.
Okay, so this is my 8th year, and
wow, I would have never guessed that. 8 years. So you were in it before I was in it.
On a part-time basis, but I didn't start it planned out like you and Rusty really thought. Okay, I'm gonna make this move. Rusty Average Lawn Care, shout out, brother. So I'm walking through my neighborhood one day, and I was looking at the neighbor's house, and they hadn't cut the grass in like 2 months, and it was getting on my nerves. And the house was for sale, so I'm like, if you're trying to sell the house, why wouldn't you cut the grass?
Right.
So I called the real estate agent just to say, like, you know, all the other yards in the neighborhood looked nice, and then this yard looked horrible. So I called the lady. She thought I was calling to complain, but I was like, no, I was just making sure you knew that, you know, the yard looks like a forest. And she's like, well, what's your rate to cut it? And I wasn't even, I didn't have a mower, I don't have any equipment, I don't do landscaping or lawn care. But a light bulb went off in my head. I couldn't make money because I needed money.
Right.
So I don't know where I got $60 from Naylor. This was about a $200 job.
Oh, man.
So I said, 60 bucks. So she's like, okay. She's like, just text me a picture when you're done and we'll mail you the check. So now I'm like, okay, I can get 60 bucks. There was a ghetto Walmart Murray push mower in the garage that it was my friends, my roommates, that wasn't self-propel or anything. I don't have a weed eater, blower, nothing. So I talked to my friend who used to have a landscaping company. I called him. I'm like, hey, I was gonna do this yard for 60 bucks. Can I borrow your weed eater and blower? He's like, sure. So I ended up losing a lot of money on my first job.
Right. What did it take you, like hours?
Oh yeah, well, I ended up having to sub it out and pay someone with a bigger mower 30 bucks.
Oh my gosh.
And then it was a disaster. But
that was your first experience at subbing stuff out.
But when I got that $60 check, even though it cost me 100 bucks, I was like, this is sweet. So she calls me back, and it's like, she thinks I'm like a landscaping company.
Oh wow.
So she called me back and she's like, hey, can you guys knock out a yard in the other neighborhood? And so now she's basically having me. So I had a Honda Accord, so I have the mower. The mower's sitting out of the window, like I rigged it to fit in there.
Yeah.
And my buddies let me borrow his weed eater and blower, and I'm banging out yards. And that's how it all started. So I went and printed up business cards, Paul Jamison Lawn Care back in the day, put it in everyone's mailbox, the phone started ringing, and the rest was history.
Wow. Nice.
That's how it all started.
Man. And now look at you, man. So now you got that, and then you got the radio show.
Yeah, so that started progressing. I started doing lawn care part-time, and then I got this gig, this radio show, and it was just like they both were just kind of growing at the same time, and it got overwhelming. And so finally in 2016 I had to transition from my radio show full-time to a more part-time basis, and that's when I went all in on landscaping.
Gotcha. And what are your future plans for your landscape? I mean, so you say landscaping, lawn care. I mean, what really is it? Is it both?
Well,
You do a little bit of everything?
Yeah, so it's both. Like Stan Genetics says, the riches are in the niches.
Yeah.
So I found that I make more profits in the landscaping.
Right.
I love doing sod installs, and just I make more money doing landscaping.
Right.
But I work in some really nice neighborhoods, high-end neighborhoods.
Yeah.
We do Atlanta Falcons players and coaches and just some awesome folks.
Yeah.
But I found by doing lawn care, it makes them used to seeing my truck every day, because I'm in there doing the mow, edge, blow maintenance.
Right.
But then it puts me in play to get the landscaping jobs without doing extensive marketing.
Right.
Because I'm already kind of in the neighborhood, everyone's familiar with me. So I'm dabbling in both, and I'm kind of at the crossroads where I'm kind of considering, do I want to go high volume lawn care, which I don't think so, Do I want to kind of get more
High profit
landscaping?
landscaping. Yeah.
High profit landscaping, but right now I'm kind of in the middle.
I gotcha. And you're just still working on figuring it out.
I'm figuring it all out.
Gotcha.
So I've been hanging out on Snapchat with Brian Ring, and he's been preaching at me, you're not efficient enough. You're not efficient enough. Hey, you're sitting there telling me your profit's not good enough because you're not efficient enough. My biggest mower was a 30-inch Toro Time Master and a little 20-inch reel mower that cuts it like a putting green. So Brian kept telling me, you got to get a bigger mower, you got to get a bigger mower. And then one day he sends me a Snapchat and he says, hey, I want to give you a 48-inch commercial mower, pretty much brand new Kawasaki 17 horsepower engine, and a trailer. Just come to Stillwater, Minnesota and pick it up. So a couple weeks later, I was on an airplane. Brian Ring-a-Ding, Ring Lawn Care is awesome. They gave me, I call it the green machine because I'm making money with the green machine. 48-inch Let's Go, baby. And he gave me this trailer. It's got that Minnesota rust, so I'm gonna paint it. Richie Plemons lives down the road, so he said he's gonna help me paint it, Richie.
Nice.
But yeah, this is Brian Ring Lawn Care. Gave this trailer to me and this mower to help with our lawn care. I'm very thankful to Brian for his generosity.
How's it working out? I mean, are you still trying to work it out?
Listen, it ain't started. It ain't started. Oh man, I gotta get. It's just he actually sent me the starter.
Yeah.
He sent me a brand new starter, so
Right.
I got to put that in before tomorrow. But I got to get it cranked
But
up.
it was running before.
It was running before.
And you were working because I mean, yeah, there's a Velke and all that.
Oh,
It's a
yeah,
whole,
he
whole
gave
new
me the-
learning curve, right?
Yeah. But for the footage today, we ain't getting it cranked.
No, that's fine. I don't need to crank it. But did you get to cut some grass with it?
Oh
a
yeah.
little bit?
Oh yeah. I've done several yards with it.
Oh,
and,
okay. That's good.
Yeah. So a lot of people, I put this on my Instagram. So this is how they cut the putting green and the tee box. The mower, the blade actually goes like this. I got to get this sharpened, but it cuts it down to about 1/4 of an inch, a 1/2 inch, up to an inch. Y'all up north tell me you cut 3.5 inches. This thing gets it down under an inch and just goes like this. The roller in front makes it nice and smooth, so you got a real nice smooth stripe. And I love this thing. My yards that we cut with the reel mower are golf course quality. So this is my favorite mower right now. The Green Monster, the Green Machine, eventually might win my heart over, but this is my favorite mower for sure.
So it just makes it look real crisp, like a putting green, like you said, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that's like a premium service, right?
It's the riches are in the niches, baby.
Yeah. No, seriously, man. Like I feel like, do they have bigger versions of that?
Yeah, so they
or-
got I got a 27-inch, or I had a 27-inch, and it broke. So this is the 20-inch, but that's pretty much the biggest. They have huge ones on the golf
Right,
course that are
right,
60
right,
inches,
right.
but my yards
are small enough,
smaller.
Yeah.
That a 27-inch or 20-inch will get the job
So
done.
it's basically like you're push mowing the yards, but you're using this powered reel cutter that is giving it that immaculate, smooth
Absolutely.
look.
Yeah.
And the customers are willing to pay for
Oh
that.
yeah, they love it, and all the that's what's up. My friend Josh Germain, his whole company, he only uses reel mowers.
So this is a sweet setup, man, this radio studio. Like, how did this all happen? You said 4 years ago you started doing this? How did that even happen?
Yeah, so my best buddy down here in Atlanta called me up and he's like, hey, they're hiring at the radio station the overnight shift, midnight to 6 a.m. And I always wanted to be in radio. I'd drive around in my car and I'd be like, Victory 91.5. Like I'd act like I'm the DJ.
That's funny.
But I visualized it, you know what I mean? Like I would actually practice being the DJ on the radio. And I did
Yeah.
all these, I thought they were funny voices, but I'm like,
Yeah.
you're listening.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I was like, yeah. And well, actually I said
It was
yes.
like you were practicing, like you were being ahead of yourself, preparing for this moment.
Yeah, but I remember he's like, hey, they're hiring at the radio station.
Yeah.
You should apply or whatever. And then he said midnight to 6 a.m. I'm like, ooh, that's going to be tough because I was
Yeah.
running a landscaping business,
right, yeah.
part-time. But I got the job, and it was a dream come true.
Wow. And then so over the years you kind of did various different things with the on the show, and to the point where you're at now. You have basically your own show on Sundays.
Yeah, so I was in midnight to 6 a.m. shift. They call it, that's kind of where everyone starts.
Yeah.
And then I got a promotion to actually do a midday show from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. It's like 60, 80,000 listeners. It was a
like
big
prime
deal.
time,
It was
yeah.
prime time. And I was torn, though, because I'm doing this prime time radio show, and I'm also trying to run a lawn care company, and it was impossible.
Yeah.
And so I sat with the owner of the station and the general manager, and I talked to everyone, and I'm like, I don't know what to do. I want to keep doing radio, but I want to keep doing my landscaping business. And they're like, well, why don't you do both? Why don't you just do one show on the weekend, primetime show still, and run your landscaping business? And I was like, yeah, so that's a good idea. So it's kind of a meet in the middle.
Yeah. So you have like two passions then? Like you're really passionate about the radio and you're also passionate about lawn care, right?
Absolutely.
So you're trying to really work them both out.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome that they were able to work with you,
Oh,
so
yeah.
that you could do both. Where do you see it going from here as far as with radio?
Well, right now I'm doing a Sunday show, and it's been perfect. So I'm going to
Yeah.
keep doing that Sunday show indefinitely.
Okay.
It's perfect for me right now.
Okay. And where has this experience on radio led you to in your life? Has it helped you or impacted lawn care, or just has it done some other things for you in life?
Well, being a professional broadcaster has definitely helped me learn how to communicate. Hopefully I'm doing all right. Naylor's making me nervous with all this setup.
Oh, you're doing good.
But I mean, like you'll do your radio show and then go in the general manager's office and he'll listen back to what you said on the radio and critique you.
Right.
You paused at the wrong time. You didn't emphasize that word enough. Your tease wasn't good enough. I mean, stuff that you wouldn't even think about. And so it's taught me how to communicate better. And I'm so thankful for that.
Yeah. Awesome. So where do you see, like, I know you were talking about podcasts
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff. Like where'd that come from, and what are your plans for that?
Well, I think for several years now I've been in broadcasting. And I used to listen. Stan used to have a great podcast, and then it kind of fizzled out. There's a few other podcasts out there. But I'm kind of searching myself. Like, man, I want a really good podcast to listen to with interviews like with you and
Yeah.
all the industry leaders. I want to learn, but it really isn't out there. So I was like, I'll create it.
Right.
I got the technology, I got the experience, and I got awesome friends like you. So let's make the best podcast out there. So I'm launching it this September 2018, the Green Industry Podcast.
Awesome. That sounds exciting.
Yeah, I'm really excited.
So this talking a little bit more about this station and just the kind of radio and everything. It's Sunday. On the way here. The station that I listened to yesterday was all hip hop, and today was all about different religious programs and sermons and things. And I'm like, what? And Christian music. And I'm like, what just happened? Like everything changed from one day to the next. I'm like, well, it is Sunday, and I am in Georgia. This must be close or in the Bible Belt,
Yeah.
so I guess that's how it is. And then I scanned. Every single station was either Christian music or country music, and that's what this station is all about,
Yes, sir.
right? And that's what
Yeah.
your show is all about today. Share a little bit about what you were talking about, like when you go on the air. What is it that you're talking about?
Yeah, it's a Christian radio station. So the Lord changed my life dramatically back in 2004, and I've just wanted to honor Him. So it's awesome because the content is just sharing about Jesus and the
Mm-hmm.
Lord, and so it's a perfect platform for me to get to share my faith and my experiences with the Lord with others on the radio. So it's
Right.
I'm passionate
It's like
about
perfect.
landscaping for sure. I'm also passionate about the Lord, so this is a perfect platform for that here
Yeah.
at the radio station.
Yeah, that sounds perfect for you. Are you willing to share a little bit about what happened?
The story of how I gave my life to the Lord is pretty cool. 2004, and there was a lady, Deb Draper. She was my neighbor, and the Lord put it on her heart to fast and pray for the Lord to get a hold of the young men in our city. And so she went on a 10-day water fast. Didn't eat food for 10 days, just drink water. And she just prayed, God, get a hold of these young men in the city. And she prayed for her daughter to get saved too, because her daughter was living wildly. So I'm at my graduation party, got a bottle of whiskey in my pocket. I have no interest in anything but God, or about God. I was just living how I wanted to live for myself and my flesh and everything. So she fasts and prays for 10 days. And she shows up at my graduation party and she gives me a suitcase and a bunch of little devotional books. And she put the Great Commission that says, go and make disciples of all the nations. And she gives this to me. And she's like, you'll be needing this suitcase because the Lord's going to send you to make disciples. And she gave me all this booklet. And I thought, this lady is so weird. I was like, I got a bottle of whiskey in my pocket. I'm going to party with my friends at the beach all week. This lady's weird. So she ended her 10-day fast, and the Lord spoke to her, it's done. I'm going to get a hold of Paul. You just watch. And so she gave me the suitcase. I loaded up, go to the beach with my friends to party for 10 days. And the Holy Spirit convicted me the whole 10 days. Like, the lifestyle I was living, this crazy party lifestyle, I just felt convicted. And I felt like I'm going to go to hell. Like, what if I die? Like, I want to go to heaven. And so for like 10 days, all my friends were like, man, come on, come party with us or whatever. And I was just having this spiritual
guilt. Like you felt a lot of guilt. Yeah.
I was feeling guilt, convicted, but I didn't have any language for it. I thought something was wrong with me.
Yeah, like you were sick, you were dying. Or,
yeah, I was like, I don't want to go to hell. I don't want to feel guilty for how I'm living. And so at the end of the trip, I was reading through the booklets and everything she gave me. I was like, I'm going to dedicate my life to Jesus. And so we're flying into Atlanta. I didn't know what turbulence is. So we're going through the airplane, and I thought for sure it's going to crash.
Yeah.
So I was like, Jesus, I promise, here's my life. And I thought we're going to hit the ground and I was going to die and go to hell.
Right.
So I'm on the airplane. I'm like, Jesus, here's the rest of my life. I'll live for you. I'll honor you. Whatever you want. Here's my life. And then we got through the turbulence. Blue skies come out. We land in Atlanta. And then I was like, I'm serious. And I was in Atlanta airport where you'll be this afternoon. Mm-hmm. And I gave my life to the Lord. And I said, the rest of my life, whatever you want, I'm going to live for you. And I'm not perfect. I've made many mistakes. I'm not perfect
right,
at all.
Right.
But I've strived to put.
You don't have a bottle of whiskey in your pocket anymore.
Nah, I got some water.
Yeah.
And but I'm trying to honor the Lord with my life, and so it's been an awesome 14 years trying to walk with Him and honor Him. And so having this platform. I mean, there's thousands of people that listen to this show today to get to share about the love of Jesus with them is
it's empowering. Yeah. That's awesome.
Which is an answer back to the lady's prayers who fasted and prayed, because there's people. This station's actually in 186 countries, so there's people listening all over the world, which is just cool because what she.
So that it
all came to pass. Yeah.
Have you ever talked to this lady ever?
Oh
again?
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Like relatively recently.
Oh yeah. So her daughter gave her life to the Lord, and then a whole bunch of all my friends that I ran with in high school, we were all knuckleheads together. We're like dominoes. We just all dedicated our life to the Lord and just said we want to honor you. Wow. So her prayers are powerful. Fasting and prayer is powerful.
Wow. Thanks for sharing that story.
Yeah. I didn't know we were gonna go down that route, but.
Me neither, man. That's what happens. That's the beauty that's the beauty of these interviews. Is you never know what I'm gonna pull out of people.
Yeah, but that's the most important part of my life. That's what defines me. And landscaping, broadcasting, all that other stuff is like secondary. But my relationship with the Lord is that's the deepest cry of my soul, is to want to love Him with all my heart, mind, soul, and strength.
Yeah. That's awesome. Thanks for letting me come out here and showing me around and being in the studio and sharing your life a little bit with me and your story and everything. It's really impactful, and I can't wait to be a part of your podcast, and just being a part of your life is really awesome. So thanks, man.